It started one night with a knock at the door. My parents, sister, and I were getting ready to turn in for the night. "Who could that be at this hour?" my dad asked with a puzzled look on his face. As the door opened, 3 large men dressed in all black were in our doorway. What was more sinister was the black hazmat masks tightly secured to their faces. "Who the hell are you?" my dad inquired. Not a word was said from our visitors. They pushed past him and each went into our bedrooms, 1 man for my parents' room, 1 for my sister's, and 1 for mine. There are 3 men in my house. They refused to speak or leave. "Send someone right away." My dad screamed down the phone to the police, who seemed to not have an answer for him. "They're here to help," they kept repeating to him. I couldn't help but wonder who were these men in our house and why are they in our rooms. As my father was shouting at the police, I switched on the TV. "Local government sends all households overnight security" was on the headline. "This is free of charge," it added. "Do not attempt to engage with them." "But I don't want them in my house. I have a family," my dad pleaded with no avail. "I suppose we'll be hosting some new visitors for the next few nights." As I settled into bed, it was difficult to ignore the tall figure standing against the wall opposite my bed. The round black eyes of his mask were really unsettling. He didn't speak or move. All I could hear were deep breathing sounds coming from the mask. "At least he's alive, I suppose." I turned on my side with my back away from him, trying to fall asleep. How does one sleep with someone watching them in the darkness? Usually people fear what they cannot see in the dark. However, I know my visitor is there. I had so many questions. Why is he wearing the mask? What is he trying to protect himself from? I couldn't fall asleep that night, with questions looming over my mind. As the sun came up the next morning, I planted my feet on the floor as I rose from bed. The figure was still there, watching. When he had confirmation I was awake, he made his first movement all night towards and out of the front door. I felt some ease as he left and wondered if his colleagues too had left with him. At breakfast, my parents and I had the same unease. We still had 1 visitor in our home, watching over my sister. She was never one to rise early, and hopefully her watcher would get bored and leave. As 11 a.m. approached, her visitor opened the front door and left. "Well, that was weird," she said as she emerged from her room. "What?" I asked her. He just wouldn't stop whispering to himself. My parents and I stopped what we were doing for a moment, eyes fixed on my sister. "What did he say?" we asked collectively. "She's just a girl. She's just a girl. She's just a girl." Over and over and over. "Perhaps he was just concerned for you. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about," said Mom. She was trying hard to reassure us. In the evening our visitors had returned, each marching to their respective posts in our bedroom. That night I had a plan. I went to the toilet in the middle of the night to see if the guard would follow, but he didn't. His gaze fixated on my bed. On my return I passed my sister's bedroom, no whispering from her guard tonight. As I returned to bed and began to drift off to sleep, I heard a commotion from my sister's bedroom. My guard and I ran out to find her guard shouting, "Get off the bed this instant, move away from the bed." My parents and their guard followed. Now all 3 guards were barking the same order to my sister to move off the end. "But I can't," she shouted. "Something has got a hold of me." The guards collectively radioed in for assistance from their colleagues. But it was too late. My sister had been dragged down through her mattress. We all pushed the bed to one side, hoping to find sister below. But what met us was the wooden floor of her bedroom. Where could she have gone? I wasn't prepared for what I saw next. My sister was standing outside her window staring right at us. My heart beat hard into my chest. How could she have got there from her bed? The guards broke my thought when they scattered for the outside. "We have another one," they shouted. My sister ran towards the trees and into the darkness. That was 1 week ago. We started to know more about what was happening. People in the town were being taken as they slept and replaced with a direct copy of themselves. But these copies were inhuman. The guards were there to protect us from being taken, but eventually they too were being taken. No one knew where these copies came from. All we know is that those taken are never seen again. I am writing this hidden in an underground shelter. I can only assume it is only me left, that everyone else was taken. I can hear movement above me and around my shelter door. It is only about time where they find me too and take me.